What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we got a short little video for you guys. We're going to be making a little shelf because recently I took down an old shelf of mine to hang this drill charging station up. And so it used to be on that shelf for some cans, some oils, some finishes. And right now I don't have a spot for them. So right now they're just taking up my workbench and my workstations and my workspaces. And that's not okay. That doesn't work for me. So today we're going to make a little shelf. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty guys, we're just about ready to cut here. I'll show you what we got set up. We got a little drywall T-square here for a straight edge for the jigsaw. And I know I should probably be doing this with a circular saw, but personally, I do not actually own a circular saw. I'm trying to get my hands on one. So right now I have to use my dad's when I want to use one, and it's all the way over at my house. I really just don't feel like getting it. So that's kind of the dilemma here. So we're just going to use a jigsaw, and hopefully it turns out alrighty guys, so I just got the piece cut out that we're going to use for the shelf. This is going to be a piece, this is rough dimensions, it's not final dimensions, so we still have a little bit to cut on it. And sorry I didn't film the cut. I feel bad because when I watch YouTube videos, that's one of my favorite parts to watch, is when the tools are actually being used. But I don't have a tripod right now. Like I said, I'm a beginner, so I don't have everything I need. Like I said, I'm in the process of trying to get a hold of some of those more essential things, so just bear with me for the first few videos here. Alrighty guys, so the next step in this is going to be ripping the piece here down to final width, and then once we're done that, we'll cut it using the miter saw right up there to final length. Alrighty guys, so we got this piece cut to final length and final width. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I just kind of eyeballed it based off of the old shelf that I took down. I made it a little bit bigger so I have room to expand my collection of finishes, because I'm sure that's not all I'm going to have. So it's down to final length and final width now. And so the next step is going to be taking these brackets off of this old shelf and mounting them on the new shelf over there. But so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my table saw right there, and I'm going to rip a thin strip of plywood to go along the edges here, so it makes it harder for the things that I put on it to fall off. Now that's an option, you don't have to do it, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I got the strips that I want to put along the edges ripped down. All I did was I set the fence on my table saw to if you can see that, well, it's set at 3/4 of an inch, and if you guys notice, I am using 3/4 of an inch plywood, and I know that's probably overkill for what I'm trying to use it for, but it's what I have on hand, so that's what we're using it for. So the next step in this project is going to be finding out how long you need these to be to put on each edge of your shelf. We got our pieces here, our nice thin strips to go along the edges of our shelf. And so how I'm going to do this, now there's multiple ways to do it. One of them is you can measure how long you need, how long the shelf is, or how wide it is, how you can measure the piece you need. And so instead of measuring, now, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I've heard this from a lot of people. So instead of measuring, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil, I'm just going to mark where I need it, okay? Now, make sure you have your other edge lined up, okay? See how I have that nice and flush? Alrighty, guys, so I know how I said earlier in the videos, I don't have a tripod, so it's hard for me to set up the power tool shots for you, but I'm going to do my best. So I'm going to set my camera right here. And if you don't want to watch this part, you don't have to, but you can if you like. I know some people like it. Alrighty guys, so we got our two shorter pieces cut right here. So the next step is we're gonna get these shorter pieces to go on, but take note, because I just realized I made a mistake. When you go to mark out how long you need this and go to cut it, make sure you include the width of these two pieces of plywood, because this isn't gonna fit in between here. See, I cut it too long, so I'm gonna have to go back and remark and then recut them. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty guys, so we got our 2 smaller pieces cut. So you can see they fit pretty good. Fit right in there. You know, just like that. So now I'm just gonna glue these down. And since I didn't include the glue up of these 2, I guess I will include, or try to include, the glue up of these 2. Okay guys, so I got the glue applied. And so the next step is just gonna be to spread it out. You can use really whatever you want to spread the glue out. I'm just gonna use my finger and then wipe it off. It's no big deal to me, but do it however you guys really want to for that one. What you're gonna do is just gonna set them in place. And so what I did to hold down the longer 2 pieces is I just used these 2 plywood strips, put them here, and then stacked heavy things on top of them. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the shorter ones. And guys, you can use brad nails to hold the pieces in place while they set, but I do not have a brad nailer or a pin nailer for that instance, so this is the way I'm gonna do it. And I don't really feel like clamping them down, so another reason why I'm doing it this way. Alrighty guys, so we got the pieces set in place, as you can see. So technically you could say I am using clamps to glue them down because the clamps are the weight, but I'm not actually using clamps, if you guys know what I'm saying. So now it's pretty much just wait for the glue to dry, and then after that we're gonna mount the brackets. So see you in a second. Alrighty guys, so the next step after you get your shelf platform built, which I already have mine built, and it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But anyway, so the next step after you get that built is you need to go get yourself some brackets or something. But for me, the next step is just going to be taking the brackets off of this shelf and putting them on my shelf. So let me do that for you real quick. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my framing square. It's kind of like a mini framing square. I really like this thing. But I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna line it up so it's got like just like that and just like that. And I'm gonna mark the holes with a pencil. Just gonna mark my holes like that, like this. And then I'm gonna drill pilot holes for them. Alright guys, so after you have your holes marked, I'm gonna drill pilot holes to put the screws in. You don't have to, it's optional, but that's how I like doing things, so. Alrighty guys, one down, one to go. And I'm not gonna film the second one since I already filmed the first one. Alrighty guys, so before I go ahead and mount the second bracket for the shelf, I just wanted to tell you guys one thing. If you want these to look at least a little decent, which I know earlier I said I didn't care how it looked, but I do want it to look somewhat decent, I'm just gonna make sure they're evenly spaced in from each edge. So I'm just gonna take my square and see that's about, gonna push it up against it, and that's about 2.5 inches in. So I'm gonna come over here, mark 2.5 inches, just like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mount it. Alrighty guys, so I got the 2 brackets mounted, and then before I end the video, I just wanted to let you guys know one thing real fast. So the screws I used, they barely poke out of the plywood. Now when you go to mount your brackets, make sure you have screws that don't stick out, especially if you're going to be putting this in your house or something where people are going to be having their hands on a lot, because you don't want people to cut their hands. But for my shop, it'll be fine, because all I'm going to be doing is putting cans and glue bottles and stuff like that on it, and I'm not really too worried about it. So yeah, that's about it guys. So pretty much all you have to do is find a spot on your wall, put it on there, and you're pretty much good to go, but make sure it's level, of course. So alright guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video, but please feel free to let me know down in the comments below if you have any suggestions or tips and tricks for me. And And let me know what else you guys want to see. Let me know. If you did like it, please drop a like. That would help me out a lot. And if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. So, alrighty guys, that'll be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.